That awkward moment when the MC of your show would rather kill the slave trader to get the slave in question because buying would be too expensive. Not seemingly some moral, righteous decision of we have to, people can't be. It's always like, listen, I need him. He would be invaluable for my team. And despite that level of edge, somehow it works. It doesn't cross the line in being so edgy it feels like a 12-year-old wrote it. It still is in Hot Topic, but it's not quite goth out of its mind. I do think it's going to be a fake out, not because our boy didn't pull the trigger. I'm expecting Koga, the slave, to most likely have pushed the gun away. I don't know the whole dynamic, but I imagine it's something like that. I just got the impression that the slave owner in question was going to be more relevant than a singular episode. Just there was something about the personality. I was like, this is the type of scumbag that we're probably going to interact with over the course of the whole story. Maybe similar to like a shield hero with the slave owner who sold us Raftalia in that show. But either way, not what I was expecting, but very much continuing to enjoy this wild, wild show. Now, of course, I have full live reactions over on Patreon. If you want to see my full and good thought to any of this wonderful Most Notorious Talker episodes, it's over there exclusively. So, very enjoyable episode. I mean, last week was quite the intense episode overall. And this episode, we are properly getting into the third member. Now, the way they were going, it was being set up almost like, so there's this person in jail, right? And the way they were setting this up was like, okay, our boy's investigating because he wants to get this guy released and then have him a part of his crew, right? We have this companion who can shapeshift into any person in existence, getting all the information, like that's the direction we're going. And no, instead, seemingly we're going a completely different route. That's probably still going to be in the back burner, and maybe eventually there would be a fourth member. But if you're going to say someone's basically like locked up for life, I guess if you were going to have a fourth member, it would make sense if that's a more long-term plot point rather than something we do in the next episode or two. And then you get introduced to this person. Now, it's kind of funny because Koga mistakes our boy Noel as a girl. Not once, but multiple times. And initially, I mistook Koga as a girl. I was like, oh, like, what's this woman doing down here? Turns out, actually a very honorable person. Noel ends up dropping a coin, and immediately the dude's like, hey, you dropped this. Now, Noel, being the tsundere he is basically like, I don't want anything your filthy paws touch, blah, 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 right? And then we get into the big-ass street brawl. At the end of the day, the thing that makes, I think, Noel a decent MC for a show like this, and has the potential to be truly excellent, is the fact that he's not just an edgelord for the sake of being an edgelord. You look at a scene like that, and he's legitimately like, yeah, this person's probably not going to live, but still, I'll give the dude at least a chance, right? Because, it's very easy for even himself to potentially have ended up in a situation like that. The world's not nice, it's cruel. You can look at the end of the episode, and, if he actually did straight up kill a slave owner because he wants this person in his party. I mean, at the end of the day, does Noel give you the impression he's going to be a slave owner who whips him in the back and says, do this, that? Most likely he would probably use the ring for a little bit just to make sure that he would work for him. But at the same time, I don't even think he would go that direction, given that he hasn't forced anyone to stay with him. Look at the very first episode, or the second episode, that is. He let the dude walk away even though he wanted him a part of his party. So he doesn't give me the impression he's evil in that way. Like, he actually values free will. So I don't get the impression at all that he doesn't allow people to be human. And I think it's like his character says, if you're nice to him, he'll be nice back. If you're mean, he'll be mean back. Last episode, could he have done it differently? Like, took the girl's parents outside and before he did everything that he did? Of course, but he's also not trying to be the hero. He's just going about things in the way that he sees fit. He's focused on his story, his life. Anything else is secondary. And if you start trying to poison him and kill him in front of his daughter, well, then he'll poison and kill you in front of your daughter. Like, it's very easy. That's how he'll go about things. And writing that level of edge is actually pretty difficult. It's a very fine line. And so far, I wouldn't say they overstepped in any way. And they also managed to be funny and silly all at the same time. Whatever you think of the whole Alma and Noel dynamic, I think it's hilarious, and just, I question every time she opens her mouth about how she thinks she's a big sister, but also wants to grope him, and this, that, and the third. And I appreciate how our boy will even call a spade a spade. He says, you assaulted me in the morning. That's what happened. She actually did jump him and was trying to sexually harass him. She assaulted him. And the fact that our boy can even call a spade is something you don't see often in these shows, because the character in question, well, she's hot, so why do we have to call it anything other than, God, I wish that were me? Noelle's like, bitch, what the hell is wrong with you? And by the end of the episode, she's basically saying if he brings home any strays, she'll kill them. Granted, the stray in question is seemingly a master swordsman, so I'm sure they'll just have a continuous brawl throughout the whole run. But either way, the show be cray-cray. There's probably no other way to put it. But the thing about Noel is the thing that I'm probably going to continuously appreciate, is that it's so easy for him to be too edgy. But the idea that it's like, listen, why would I pay this guy to release him? No one's going to complain if I kill this guy. He's essentially scum of the earth. Even if he does things technically legal, is anyone going to come after him and be upset? Probably not. Okay, so there's no issues there. Do I want to spend the money that I already can't even use to afford the skill I want? Probably not. I'm paying a dude to do a bunch of investigations right now. Yeah, like, at the end of the day, it's not like he's not going to kill people over the course of the show. So therefore, killing a slave trader is just kind of something that could happen in this world. And in return, someone gets their freedom. And hopefully, said freedom will then work for us. It's something that does make sense. And even if he shot upwards, or shot next to him, right? And just threatened him, like, give me your slave or the next one's going in your head. At the end of the day, like, I just appreciate that Noel, even if it doesn't go exactly like that either, you just look at his character and you say, damn, he's definitely master at the edge, but I appreciate that he doesn't seem, he's not evil. He's not cold and ruthless for the sake of the entertainment. It's just more of, the world bred a hard group of people, and he's surviving in a cold, ruthless environment. Given his training with his grandfather and just the way the world is, you have to play by their rules, and if he can be nice, he will be nice. But in situations like this, what the hell are you supposed to do? It's actually a pretty complex character arc, all things considered, and while, you know, I definitely enjoy a character like Alma, and I'm thinking I'm going to enjoy a character like Koga, it feels like the most emphasis put on the complexity of the storytelling is going to be on Noel, and I'm perfectly okay with that. Not to say that they're not going to have their moments. I mean, Alma last week, she had her whole, like, race as a killer her whole life to only be tossed aside. That's compelling storytelling, but you can definitely tell Noel's going to be the most complex overall, which I'm completely here for. The show also is funny, which keeps it from being an edgy mess all the time. And when the edge is there, I don't really feel like we need to clean up said mess because it's just the right amount of edge for a person like me. Let me know what you thought down below. Do you think he pulled the trigger and killed that guy? I'm thinking it's going to be a misdirect. Either he fired upwards or to the right, but I also feel like he could have been pushed away and, you know, slave protecting slave master. It could be that, but I'd completely be okay if we just see a puddle of goo next episode too. But thoughts down below. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here. Of course, ring that bell. Like I mentioned, we have full live reactions over on Patreon, and hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. So today we got Eric Barton, Jeff, Dawn, Squealeton, Morrud, and we also have Shadow Cyber Demon. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care, and y'all have a good one.